Once again, today the Federal Aviation Administration announced another Boeing investigation surrounding new safety concerns. If you remember, this is just one of many investigations into the aviation company in recent years and months. Two Boeing jets crashed just over 3 months apart in late 2018 and early 2019, killing everyone on board and leaving families devastated. This led to the grounding of all 737 MAX jets. But just this year, we've witnessed a string of major problems on Boeing jets. And tonight we have 3 things to know about this year's Boeing trouble and your safety. Thing 1 tonight, incidents surrounding Boeing this year alone. Started with this in early January when a door plug on an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 flight suddenly ripped off after takeoff. Remember the video? Passengers on board took it of the incident. You can see the gaping hole in the side. Fortunately, nobody was hurt and the plane was able to safely land. We later learned that the jet left a Boeing factory in October, missing 4 bolts needed to secure the door. In early March, an FAA audit in response to that incident found multiple problems with Boeing. In fact, the company failed 33 of 89 sections, including one dealing with the same type of door panel. Just this weekend, passengers caught this video after an engine cover ripped off a Boeing 737 jet mid-flight. The buildup leads us to this week in Thing 2, the newest allegations against Boeing. Today, federal authorities announced they are investigating after a new whistleblower raised concerns with 2 jet models and claimed Boeing retaliated against him.
I literally saw people jumping on the pieces of the airplane to get them to align.
He was threatened with physical violence. He was threatened with termination.
Sam Salahpour alleges the MAX 777 could have damaged parts and that the 787s could have improperly closed gaps. His attorney alleges he faced retaliation from Boeing before filing a complaint with the FAA in January. Now, Boeing denies the 787 allegations. We want to note this is the second Boeing whistleblower to make national headlines just in recent years. You'll remember the previous one. A former employee in South Carolina also claimed he faced retaliation for his claims against Boeing. John Barnett worked for the company for more than 30 years. 7 of those were spent at the factory in Charleston. Just last month, he was found dead inside his vehicle from what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Barnett's death happened in the midst of a lawsuit he filed against Boeing. It was set to go to court in June. This all raises several questions, which leads us to Thing 3. Are you safe using air travel? Experts say yes, you are. An aerospace safety professor recently discussed this, saying the planes we fly on today, they're safer than they've ever been. The White House also discussed this recently on CBS's Face the Nation. The question again was simple. What would you say to Americans who are scared to fly right now? Officials say, remember this when you step on a plane.
I know that I'm participating in the safest form of travel in America, and that what makes it the safest form of travel in America is all of the work and all of the people who stand behind that, including the men and women of our FAA.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the FAA has an extremely rigorous standard and process for inspections. Boeing produces nearly half the world's fleet of jets, along with another major manufacturer, Airbus. A Senate subcommittee will hold a hearing about the latest Boeing concerns next week. Coming up here on Your Side Tonight.